Why do you get writer's block when working on a college essay? The answer is you're in editing mode before you've created anything to edit. We write, we evaluate, we write, we judge. In reality, we do that in what feels like a 50-50 ratio, but it's really being 10% creative and 90% judgmental. That leads to blinking cursor syndrome or backspace, backspace, backspace syndrome. The key to preventing writer's block is allow yourself to create 100% with no judgment. Then when you're done creating, judge the heck out of it. How personal should your college essay be? If you think you've shared too much, you have. A college admissions essay is a tool. Its job is to help an admissions officer make an informed decision about whether to admit you. That means showing the strongest, most interesting version of what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. It's not a diary entry. It's not a therapy session. What goes in the essay is what you would want a smart stranger to know about you to decide whether you'll thrive at their school. In fact, a smart stranger is a more useful test audience than your family and your friends. How many times should you revise your college essay? There's no magic number. But the answer I would give is until it sounds like you and shows your best traits and qualities. Again, no magic number. 2 revisions on a strong first draft beats 10 revisions on a draft that started in the wrong direction. What you're listening for. Does it sound like you? Does every sentence earn its place? Is there anything there just to fill space? When you read it and nothing jumps out as wrong, and someone you trust reads it and says the same, that's when you're done. Chasing anything beyond that point is you being an overachieving perfectionist. Don't do it.